Well, I see everything seems to be in order. Oh, hello, ladies and gentlemen. 'Tis I, Michael A. Grimm, aka the Multi-Voice. I've many voices, but one opinion. And yes, as usual, you see me in my another Doctor Who outfit, which this time I have another Doctor Who for you. And like I said, I promise this will be the last. Although there's something else I should talk about on Doctor Who, but in due time, because right now I'm getting a little burned out on Doctor Who, but sooner or later, about a while, I'll probably. Actually, I haven't even reviewed. I mean, since I did the radio series of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, I haven't done a. And I also did do the big finish on Out of Time. I should do the that radio series they done called the Visual Audio, where none other than Nicholas Briggs playing the Doctor. I should review his series. After all, I have listened to his audios, and I should just keep track on some of the adventures and everything. But it's going to take me a long time for me to listen to the whole audio and do the review of that. So I'm going to be in a sort of in a hiatus on Doctor Who until I get to Nicholas Briggs. But let's talk about another one who did almost did become part of the Doctor Who franchise, and then they decided to make us forget it, but now they're bringing it back. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to be talking to you. My next Doctor Who is Scream of the Shalka. But before I get to Scream of the Shalka, it's time for me to talk about something else. Scream of the Shalka came out from a certain short-lived internet website called BBCi. Now, BBCi, it was meant to be an online Doctor Who stuff where they make some fan-made Doctor Who radio shows, and they show like comic book-like pictures. I mean, hell. Let's talk about this one they made. One called Doctor Who Real Time. Now, on Doctor Who Real Time, this one is actually based on the Big Finish series. I mean, it started out as a radio, and they made animated pictures on it. And this one was about a group of Cybermen showed up, and they were... and it turns out there's a certain character that the Cybermen cannot see, because this Cyberman is a futuristic Cyberman, so his appearance is invisible to the old Cybermen. And of course, there's these brand new looking Cybermen where now they're looking more human, and even their armor is see-through, so you can see their skin. And of course, this one has Colin Baker in his blue outfit. And it was during the time when people were sick and tired of Colin Baker and his rainbow outfit, and I guess maybe Colin Baker felt the same way about the outfit, and therefore wanted his Doctor to be in blue, just an all-blue outfit instead of rainbow. And then after that, they did the one I reviewed not too long ago, Death Comes to Time, with Sylvester McCoy. And I know I did a thorough review about it, but I'm going to brief you about it, about a certain Time Lord who is trying... He become a ruthless Time Lord dictator, killing innocent beings in other planets, and his goal is he wants to have the Time Lord power, godlike powers. And of course, Stephen Fry was the Minister of Chance, who has godlike powers, and of course Ace is being trained by another Time Lord who also has godlike powers, but he sacrificed himself. And of course, this time the Doctor finally defeated that evil Time Lord. And then there was another one they done, and you're going to be surprised in this one. This one is Shada. Not to be confused with Tom Baker's Shada, which I did mention in my Tom Baker era. This one is a Paul McGann version of Shada. And this one is based, I guess, when Big Finish came about, along with BBCi, they decided to, they thought since some of the episodes of Shada was completely missing before they started animated some of the scenes, but they sort of did a remake episode of Shada, but with Paul McGann's doctor involved. And of course, some of the characters are recast except Romana. They had the same actress who played Romana, and of course K9, while Paul McGann is dealing against the bad guy who is trying to find a prisoner in that space prison called Shada. And then after that, that's when we get to the main focus right here, where I'm going to talk to you now. And it's, of course, Scream of the Shalka. Now, this one was about to become a forgotten episode, but thanks to BBC and, of course, Russell T. Davies, if you notice in the Judy Gatois episode, you saw Richard E. Grant's face on the episode. So now they're trying to force Scream of the Shalka be canon to the franchise. So I'm going to review it to you folks. Here we have the Shada Doctor, which that's what they call him now, played by Richard E. Grant. And I have to say, the Richard E. Grant's performance as the Doctor, I think he did a pretty good job. And despite of that parody they did, which I did mention that joke before, tall, dark, mirren-lickingly handsome thing, but in this one, he goes to this town which looks completely abandoned, like it's really, really quiet. Meets this old lady, starts getting some answers from her, and then, boom, she disappears because something from underground just buried her, just grabbed her, bring her down underground and killed her. And Richard E. Grant was like, what the hell's happening? So he walked up into the bar, and he's trying to get some answers, but some of the people are too scared to talk. They don't want to say a single thing. But one particular girl wanted to say something, and her name is Sophie Okondu. Sophie Okondu, played by the lovely Allison Cheney. And some of you may not know her, but she was on Doctor Who, one of the Matt Smith episode called Beast from Beneath, where she played a futuristic Queen Elizabeth. And also she was in Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. She played the African princess. And they're hinting that she's going to be Richard E. Grant's companion. And of course she has this boyfriend who goes by the name of Grievous? But Grievous, he's too scared. He thought she should keep her mouth shut if she knows what's good for her. You know, he's starting to remind me of that guy on David Tennant episode, the Idiot Box one, where that one guy, he thought he knows what he was doing, and every time when people try to say something, he says, I am talking! Which, David Tennant had the right idea by getting up to him and said, I'm not listening! Her boyfriend just kind of makes me think of that character. But of course, Richard E. Grant realized that there's something not right about this town. Everybody's all hush-hush, all quiet. They don't want to know what's going on because something under their ground lives under there. But of course, Sophia decided to help the Doctor, even though her boyfriend don't like the idea. And then the group of military showed up. And this guy, I think he was supposed to be replacing the Brigadier. And his name is Major Kindon. And Major Kindon is played by Jim Norton. Now, one thing I know about Jim Norton, I've seen him in comedies, and I seen him in Father Ted. He played Bishop Brennan. You know, the one where the Pope walked up to him when he was all shocked when Ted kicked him up the ass, and then he just stared at the Pope and he said, "He did kick me in the ass!" I mean, this guy's really funny. But I do like his performance when he plays the Major, because at first he's a little skeptic, but he listens to the Doctor. Like somehow he's aware about the Doctor and know what's going on. So instead of arguing with him, he listens to him. And of course, shows that he was right. And then when the Doctor got into his TARDIS, since some of these creatures who calls himself the Shalka grabbed his TARDIS, turns out living in his TARDIS is the Master. But it ain't the Master that we know. This Master is actually a robot. Like somehow the Shalka Doctor, he had like something happen in the Gallifrey, like somehow he fell in love with somebody and lost someone in Gallifrey, and it was before the whole time war with the Daleks. So Richard E. Grant's saga, I mean his era, takes place before the Time War, and it turns out something happened to the Master that therefore that the Doctor made him into a robot and kept him hidden in the TARDIS. And this Master, now, of course, he kind of helps out, but he starts acting like he has something up his sleeve, like he's ready to do something sinister and evil. And this Master is played by none other than Derek Jacobi. That's right. The same guy who played the Master in the David Tennant era before he regenerates into that other one. And of course, he also played the War Master in Big Finish, where somehow during the Time War, the Master and the Doctor get involved. And of course, Richard E. Grant was trying to figure out what's going on, and all of a sudden he meets the Shalka Queen. And the Shalka Queen, she's trying to control people living above them, and they can't survive because of the oxygen, so they like to live underground next to the lava where it's hot. And their screams, somehow they have they have these little substance that just penetrates people's forehead, so now the Queen can control him. While at the same time, she tossed the Doctor into a swirling vortex, but he survived. And now figured out a way to defeat the Shalka by contacting the Master and the TARDIS, and he also saved Stephanie. And a little known fact, David Tennant himself, he had a bit part in Scream of the Shalka. He played one of the guards who told everybody to back up, please, back up, until they killed him. But the Doctor figured out a way to break the controls, and now everybody's out of their trance. And now the Shalka has been defeated. The Queen is defeated, and that was the end of the Shalka. And now the Doctor, Richard E. Grant, has freed everybody from the Shalka, and now he has to go on continuing on his mission. And Stephanie decided to go with him. And of course her boyfriend wanted to go, but she's like, no, you're too much of a coward. So now Richard E. Grant's, aka the Shalka Doctor, teamed up with Allison Cheney, aka Sophia, and started their own adventures. Now, ever since Scream of the Shalka, they were planning to continue the series of Doctor Who, But sadly, it was canceled. And they were trying to delve more into the story, like how did the Master become a robot? Was he really the Master, or wasn't he? And explaining more about what happened in Gallifrey. And I mean, they were trying to make it as dark as they possibly can with Richard E. Grant's Doctor, but sadly, it just didn't quite pan out. Crying shame, honestly. And then when Russell T Davies decided to create a new Doctor Who with Christopher Eccleston as the Doctor, at first they tried to make us forget about Scream of the Shalka, but now they're trying to bring it back in and make us remember Scream of the Shalka. Hell, I remember Scream of the Shalka. But I wonder when they ever gonna make the Nicholas Briggs Doctor canon part of the franchise, because I don't know if they're gonna make it canon or not, because it's a big mystery to all of us. Know what I mean? And I did mention about the cartoon series that they were planning to do of Doctor Who, but due to some animated and toy company and BBC having a little bit of tug of war over their ownership and the stories, it was just not meant to be. But I wonder if they're going to use that premise from the cartoon that they were planning, or make something new, or use some of the old Doctors and go through like a kid-friendly adventure. And back then, they were making the animated series in order to sell toys. I mean, hell, if it would succeeded, I would have collected my own toys of the animated series of Doctor Who, because they had things that they were planning that I would like to collect. Especially with the Master looking like a cyborg and look kind of like Sean Connery. I am the Master. How dare you, Doctor, try to stop me? I am the Master, the powerful Time Lord, and you will die, Doctor, for your interference. And they were also planning their version of the Ronnie as well. Yeah. But at least I have my own version right now, folks, because here's a little something you guys should know. Besides those other episodes that I'm working on, I'm also planning, I haven't done the script yet, but I am having it planned. I'm just having it all in my head, but not released yet. I already did the introduction of the Master Dalek, which I'm playing as well. And one thing I'm planning, I'm going to do like a two-parter episode. So, sooner or later, the Master Dalek is going to bioregenerate, and she's going to become Missy, voiced by my dear friend Hope Merchant. Hope Merchant. That's her name. At least I'm trying to get her name right. I knew I got her name wrong on some of the credits, but now I'm getting it right this time. Hope Merchant. She's going to be playing Missy. So, believe it or not, I'm going to introduce a new character in my franchise, and she's going to be a sort of like Catwoman sort of character. You don't know if she's going to be good or bad. But I do have a lot of ideas, and even Hope is sharing some ideas how she's going to portray her Missy. And I hope it turns out great after I'm done with the other episodes, because I'm almost done with Press Start to Begin, and then I'm going to do Tales of the TARDIS involving my Doctor and Hannah. But after that, I'll be doing sort of like an episode involving, of course, Master Dalek and Missy. And of course, if some of you are wondering when I'm going to be doing my Doctor Who in the DC universe, I do have the Blue Lantern Corps episode that I'm planning. And I'm also thinking about having like a Doctor Who and DC crossover finale where my Doctor deals with Darkseid. And of course, I'm not going to spoil everything on the idea, but let's just say when the Doctor going to be dealing Darkseid, he's going to be having a good time, having a good time. Don't stop me now, I'm going to have a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now if you want to have a good time. Just give me a call. Don't stop me now. Don't stop me cause I'm having a good time. Nothing gonna stop at all. Yeah. I'm the multi-voice. I remember so I can jog your memory. Later.